get like a little view before so that we can see the episodes. Like I literally watched it with everyone else so that you can have a very fresh reaction to what is going on. First of all, how y'all feeling? What y'all thinking? Who names pop out? Listen. I must say, I'm about to go live with Hollywood Life, and we're gonna talk about this. Woo! Hold on, before I even just get into anything, let me find Hollywood Life on here. Let me see what's going on. All right, why are you unable to join? Hold on, what's happening? Okay, that was crazy. Absolutely crazy. First of all, can we talk about how rude people were this season at this reunion? And maybe y'all saw something that I didn't see, but I didn't get the memo on why Portia's so mad. No, that's me waiting to find out why she coming for me. I mean, I know. But really? I'm trying to go on Hollywood Unlocked, but it's saying that they're unable. Hold on. Let's try this one more time. Oh, hold on. Hollywood Life.
Yay!
Acted!
Yay! How are you?
God, sweating after that reunion.
Girl.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I need like 2 minutes just to like breathe for a second. But I must say, I had to tell you, I watched it with you guys. Now we get a chance to see it early, but I didn't watch it early this time. Like I wanted to watch it with everyone so that you can get my real right now reaction because I saw it for the first time.
Tell us everything that you feel.
Oh my
All the
god.
feels. I loved it. First of all, I want to be a part of the Shady Bunch. I loved that so much. That was so, I mean, do we expect anything less?
It was absolutely epic. I think what Andy was able to pull off and what Bravo was able to do, considering everything going on, still able to give us girls a sense of normalcy, you know, in finishing out our season and then giving the fans what they want, which is a conclusion to all of our craziness. So, it was definitely not the easiest. We had multiple days of tech rehearsals just to make sure that like audio and like visual work. But yeah, it was.
I just saw someone say trailblazers. Shout out to whoever commented that because that is seriously, you guys are trailblazers for the virtual Bravo reunion. So congratulations. Cheers to you on that.
Thank you. Right. Thank you.
You look stunning by the way, and you slayed like Santa at that reunion. Loved it. Loved
Look,
it.
and it was a lot to do in your living room and dining room, but you know, we had to do what we had to do. Now the question was like, do you dress up like they normally expect? Or do you do casual because you're at home? But the thing is like give the people what they want. It's a
Give the
reunion
people
used to Atlanta slaying. Like that's what they do. So it was
seriously. I mean, there's so much to discuss. I don't even know where to start. And I feel like we didn't even get into the thick of it in part one because, you know, like
oh,
we see
oh no, it's just begun.
it's just
But
begun. So,
what part one does is it sets a tone and it kind of shows you where everyone is, which is kind of weird because it's not necessarily where we were when we left off in the season.
right.
And you know, the little piece that comes into play where you see a lot of agitation is social media. So it's that like posting back and forth, it's the interviews, it's the shady comments, and it's all of that stuff that's like, what's all that for? And so then you get here to the reunion and everyone's like, T.O.
I mean, I don't even know. Like the whole like Nene and you feud came out of left field
Well,
for me.
first of all, I said it on the show and I was very genuine with Nene where I did accept her apology, but I do tread lightly. Like when someone shits on you so hard and so intentional, it's not easy to just go back into the same situation you were in before. Now, I forgive her because we all make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect anyone to be perfect. I'm definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
But I tread lightly. However, once the season was over, she's doing multiple interviews on like who should have a peach, and Eva's boring and all she does is have kids. And I'm like, why am I in your mouth? Like you were mute the whole season, and now all of a sudden you have all these opinions on what I should and shouldn't be doing with my life. I'm so confused.
Yeah, where did that come? Like, were you blown away just like the rest of us being like, where
I,
is this coming from?
I was wondering, especially considering she calls herself the HBIC and this is my show. So if this was your show, you should know how your show was spending their money. And they knew I was very much so pregnant, and they asked me back. Like, I'm so confused at why you're mad.
And I thought you killed it this season. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah. I mean, obviously, the reunion still hasn't finished. It
No.
just started. So, like, nobody knows if they're coming back yet or not. Like, as
Right.
we do in the Bravo world, we finish the reunion, we take some time, we digest, and then we figure it out. Like, this is what we see every season with everybody. But do you want to set the record straight that, like, you are not fired and you are hoping to come back? Do you want to set the record straight with your own
Oh,
words?
has like sent me we don't want you papers. Like there's definitely been no thank you talks. And I think it's good for the show to think about how you would want to position the cast and like who you would want to integrate with and how you would want to mix it up. But honey, I just came. She's going nowhere.
Yeah, you delivered. Like, let me tell you. And I love that everybody was in white. Like, everybody looked gorgeous. It was like everybody. Did you guys plan that or did Bravo ask you to do that?
Well, we initially had like plans for the reunion, right? And then like Corona happened and it changed everything. And it was one of those things where literally we all end up wearing white. It was so weird.
That's so funny.
I know.
That's so funny. Okay, so we've only seen part one, but can you kind of like shed a little light? Like, if you guys were in person, would you and Nene have hugged it out at the end, or would you have had to have been separated by Andy at the end?
I think had we been in person, people would have had to deal with situations as true adults do in a regular fashion. I think being cyber allowed for a level of confidence in words that you might not have said had that person been in your face, and a little bit of oomph, extra. But I don't know. It's just one of those really, really weird times. And after having been on this show now for a few years and having lost friends after my wedding, I pick my friend like I pick my fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like Erica Badu said, Daddy told me that when I was only a youth. So I'm not very quick to just pick up the first friend. And I'm not quick to just forgive and forget. So, the new friends that I've met, I appreciate. I love Miss Cynthia Bailey. That is my girl. That's my ace. I adore Kenya. I think she's a beautiful person. I think she's very misunderstood. I think that if she was a man, she'd be considered a very assertive and great man. But because she's a woman, she gets a very bad rap. And I love me some Candy. As Salt Babe and KMZ as she is, I still love my Candy because at the end of the day, and that's the thing, messy we are, shady no question, well intended only a few, and that's the like who has good intentions and like who's really trying to hurt someone. And
So
it's
who do you think who
I
falls into that category?
for me this season, I think that Portia definitely came at me in a way where it's like I'm so confused at your issues. Now, do I think that she had a place to be upset with me or frustrated for my responses? Yeah, I get it. That's fine. But you got to remember that I'm responding to how you started, and you
Mm-hmm.
can see how to pop back. And I just think she's taking it all out of proportion. I said her child looks like Dennis with a bow, and her child looks like Dennis with a bow. And my
So you
son
stand by that.
with a pacifier, and Kenya's daughter looks like her husband, and the list goes on. And Nini's kids look like her, and
Yeah.
and and what's her name? Cynthia's kids. Well, her daughter looks like a split between her and Leon. It's like first,
Yeah.
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 But
So
I
you
just
have no regrets.
that I never intended to take a jab at the baby. Like, oh my God, you're talking about my kid. Like, girl, shut up.
Yeah, I feel like you and Portia kind of getting into it came also. I was a little like, wait, where is this coming from?
Oh,
Like, did she ever tell you she was offended?
no, it's forced. She's like literally creating an issue. She's making a problem. And I get it. In this on this show and in this world, you have to have some fodder. I get it. But at least be genuine, like, girl. Or say you don't
Mm-hmm.
like me because you think you don't like me. Like just because you don't even have a reason. You just don't. Sometimes it's like that. But don't make an issue where there's no issue. Because I think that's disingenuous, especially when that's the big problem which you're trying to claim I am. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no issue. You just don't like me. That's fine.
Do you think you can move forward next season? Should, everybody be back with Nene and Portia? Do you think you guys can move forward?
Oh, I'm definitely down to coexist. I can definitely do that, and I'll definitely always be respectful where it's
Mm-hmm.
warranted. I will always offer respect first. However, I'm no doormat. I'm no one's lapdog, and all the just be nice because I expect someone to be nice back to me. That shit's out the window. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we shall see.
Why do you think Nene's calling for your peach to be
I'm so confused.
taken?
Nene has her life. She has her kids, her grandkids, her man. I don't understand why she is at all the least bit concerned about what I'm doing, if it's in a negative fashion. Like, we used to be friends. She spoke at my wedding. We were cool. So if you're not worried about me in a positive fashion in any way that would enrich my life, then forget about me. But why be worried about somebody in a negative way? Why are you mad? Why? I mean, it just seems very miserable. You know how they say misery loves company? It's like one of those. Like, I'm cool. I'm happy with me. I'm happy with where I am. But the problem is why aren't you happy for me? Like, what's the issue?
And, we have heard repeatedly that Nene walks out on a few occasions. And congratulations to you. You got her going the first time around with the shut computer. What does it mean to you to hold that honor?
Oh, to make Nene have to go and change her feminine products. You know, the thing is that the honor only exists because she spent so much time before the reunion creating this reality that she wanted people to believe, and she was coming for people, and I'm gonna drag these girls and tell them to get ready and hold on to their wigs. So we got there, and the first wig to blow was her blonde wig. Like, everyone else's wigs were intact. She was
Mm-hmm.
the only one that flew the coop. So that was the thing. It wasn't just that she left, it was that she left after threatening and trying to intimidate everyone. And then the first time her shit got hot, she hit it.
So you felt like she was trying to intimidate the rest of you
Oh,
ladies?
absolutely. Portia and Nene came in there guns blazing. They were nasty. And you have to remember, this reunion starts at dark 30. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, it's at the crack of dawn. And
right.
they were on 10 from the beginning until whichever was their end.
Yeah. And, what was it like to film virtually? Like, you filmed in person, you filmed virtually. So, can you kind of talk to us a little bit about what that was like for you guys?
Um, the virtual reunion has its pros and cons. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the good part being able to, like, when you get to step away, you're like already at home and you can just disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Part of the sucky part is that we are yelling at a computer. And so it's not necessarily how you would talk back. But since I'm talking to you and I'm trying to get you to get it, like, we all are crazy yelling into the screen. I think at some point we all kind of like square up to the screen, and it really sucks watching it. Um, and then talking on top of each other because you couldn't really hear certain things. Like, I was watching it and I heard certain things when I was arguing with the girls that I didn't hear when we were arguing,
Mm-hmm.
like, at all. Because I would comment
Mm.
when we were arguing, but I didn't hear it. So that kind of sucks to see it now because I like want to say something now, but it's like, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, I loved when like everybody was yelling and Andy was like trying to interject. It was just so
Oh,
amazing. Like this, I honestly, because I watched it and I totally posted on Instagram. I'm like, this was, in my opinion, this was probably one of the best reunions of any franchise I've ever seen. And I have been covering Bravo shows for 12 years in my career.
really?
And I mean that whole freaking heartedly. And I don't know, I can't even put my finger on it. Like maybe because it was just different. Like this was so different watching
Yeah,
you guys like in split screens. I was really here for it. So
yeah.
props to Bravo for doing a fantastic job. And props to you ladies for bringing the tea.
Why, thank you. Or the
Yes.
receipts. I love Kenya's receipts.
Yeah. So who brought the most receipts? Because when
Oh,
Kenya shows up, she's not playing. So who brought the most receipts?
first of all, Kenya brought the first real receipts I've ever saw on this show, which is
Same.
marriage license. And not because anyone deserved to see your marriage license, like who cares, but because Nene made such a deal yet again in part of her storyline, bashing someone else, talking about Kenya's marriage to like a third party. It was so messy. So for her to shut that down was everything. There are a couple more receipts that definitely come out. Now, I can say that there are some receipts that come up void, insufficient funds. So that would be nice to see.
Oh, I love, well, they kind of like left with a cliffhanger with that text.
There
That
are quite a few receipts that come out this season because we are, I mean, as I'm the newest one, or Tanya and I are the newest ones to the group, this group is very intertwined. And so there's a lot of conversation back and forth, and then there are a lot of fractures that happen, like when people aren't, aware. So there's a lot of correspondence and a lot of receipts.
Do you think if you and Portia were like together that things wouldn't have gotten so shady and messy? Like, should you guys have been in person?
Absolutely. I think
Okay.
that just the ability to be able to read off of each other's body language and to
Hmm.
sincerely speak and then not to like, because I feel like Nene and Portia like were on one. I don't know what their deal was, but it felt like very planned, and it's easier to derail a plan when you're in person. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I,
Hmm.
on it being virtual, they were just sitting on their shit pot. So they were just like mad the whole time, like just mad.
And we saw them social distancing together maybe a week, 10 days ago. So do you think they were like conspiring against you guys? Like, do you think they were coming up with a game plan?
I mean, I don't know. I think it was clickbait. They have to make themselves interesting. So just a little bit something to give somebody something to talk about.
But you're not threatened at all.
Why would I be? For what? It's an ensemble. It's a group of girls. Like, why would I be threatened? I've always been fine in my skin.
And I
I'm not.
loved you this season. I loved you. I love that we got to watch you have a beautiful baby. We got to watch you move into your home. I
Thank,
loved the scene with your daughter being officially adopted. I mean, I thought you had a really great season. It was
thank you.
heartfelt, very heartfelt this season for
It,
you.
you know, it was just my reality. And sometimes the things that happen at your day, at your house in a day, are like super exciting, and then sometimes they're not so eventful. And I'm not one to try to put on or create this big life or world that I want people to think that I have. I literally just show my world as it is. So coming on, you saw me getting married. You saw my transitioning to Atlanta and trying to adjust to this life with my husband, and you saw me bring in two kids into this world since I've been on the show so far. And acquire new jobs, gigs, move around, house search. This is my life, and it's just what it is. And sometimes it's super thrilling, and then sometimes you just can have a glass of wine to it.
Yeah. And, one thing that Nene did say is that the show needs some fresh blood. There's been so many rumors out there about Sheree coming back, Phaedra, Kim Zolciak. I mean, we'd love to see a housewife return. What do you think?
I'm here for any of them.
Okay.
I'm all at the end of the day, as much as these people might get on my nerves, I am all about womanhood. I'm all about female empowerment. And to see, a level of diversity as far as the way we think, the way that we live, what we deem important, and to diversify that, I think is very important, especially on this franchise, as it's the largest African American cast on Bravo outside of
Hmm.
medicine. So I think it's really important to keep diversifying, and whoever they want to bring, come on. Like, I think it's great. I've known David since I was 17 years old. My brother used to work at the Mathis law firm with her, so she's a really good friend of mine. I thought Sheree was amazing when I worked with her when I first came on the show. She was a lot of fun. And then Kim. I don't know Kim that well, but I've done Watching Out This Live with her, and she was nice.
She
You
is
know,
great.
I'm not mad at anybody out here hustling, getting theirs.
Do you think the cast needs a shakeup?
I think the Cavs need a retreat in a woosah, in a kumbaya, and a Dos Equis, a beer.
Yeah, because Nene said she felt there was a shakeup. I've talked to some of the other ladies who say, maybe some fresh blood, but I really liked the cast this season.
Hearing stuff, but I must say, since I've came on this show, I've heard stuff. So there's
Okay.
always like some stuff, But I always feel like where there's some smoke, there's some fire. So I don't put anything past anyone. I don't think anyone is completely, not an option, and I'm here for whatever happens.
Okay. There was we see for the teaser for next season, or sorry, for next week that you were crying. So what can you tease?
Yeah, well, I can say the reunion was not all, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we do deal with some, like I said, we deal with my real life. And so some things in life are kind of hard to talk about and deal with. And we tackled some stuff. And I don't regret it because at the end of the day, even though it might be difficult to deal with, if it helps one person or if one person can relate or find strength in it, then I'm okay with being vulnerable. That's why I'm here.
Hmm. Have you talked to Portia or Nene at all since the reunion tape via text, via phone call? Has there been any reach out?
No.
No, no. Do you see yourself reaching out at any point soon to either of them? And if they reciprocate, let's say they called you, would you answer?
They call my phone, I'd answer.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But
But you're not going to reach out to
no.
them. Okay. So
I
the
don't have
next,
I don't have anything to say.
okay.
So, usually you call when you have something to say or you write a letter when you have something to say. I have nothing to say. So
Hmm. Do you feel like what did they do to you? Like, what do you feel that they did to you to make you not want to talk to them right now? What's like
um
the sticking point for you?
both of them is too much. I think that Nene just went from like I apologize to this horrible, she doesn't need a peach, she shouldn't be here, she shouldn't be
Hmm.
having all these kids. Like, girl, what is your problem? So I'm cool on her because I don't even understand where we went left that again, but it's fine. It's totally fine. We don't have to jump in there, so there's no need to jump out. And then with Portia, um, it just makes no sense to be at this point because she has my information. My husband and her guy are really good friends. They speak all the time. If there is really an issue or if there's something that she would like to get past, then she can call me. So the way I look at it now is either there's no real issue or she doesn't want to get past it. And I care not. So
Do you think it was just for the show though?
absolutely.
Okay. So you
I
think you guys can get past
think
it?
that like she put it out there and she made it a thing, so she has to keep on with it. So now it's like she pushed her hair to the right. She wears one earring. Like anything I do at this point is gonna make her. It's gonna irritate her. But I don't care. I don't live for her. She's never made me a dollar. She It matters not. It's of no consequence.
Yeah, she seemed really stuck on that comment you made. Like, and I mean,
She's
so
full of. That's
yeah,
what
you
it's
think it's something else?
full of shit.
Okay. Have you talked to Dennis or has Mike talked to Dennis?
Yeah, I talk to Dennis. I might talk to Dennis all the time, and
And he's
yes,
okay with it.
yes, Dennis is fine.
Okay.
Dennis is fine.
All right. Well, what can fans look forward to for the next two parts
Uh,
of the reunion?
well, you know what? Even though this episode was juicy, it like didn't even touch it. It didn't even touch it. Like you guys have not seen it. Episode 2 is going to be so good, but then episode 3, oh, but you can't get to 3 until you get through 2. Oh my, it's there's so much.
And obviously, like your state has relaxed its social distancing a lot. So people are like, oh, does that mean we're going to start seeing Atlanta film soon? But like, none of you guys are ready from like what it looks like and see.
No,
So,
following more of like the CDC guidelines and less
hmm.
like, throw everybody out there guidelines. So when the country clubs and the Fortune 500 companies open back up and they're back in at like CNN, IBM, then we'll go back. But until then, I'm not going back.
And it seems like all the ladies probably feel the
Yeah,
same way,
I
it
mean,
looks like.
I go to my bank. I can't go inside of my bank and just do regular business. And until they feel safe enough for the rest of the world to do business like that, I'm not going out and filming with these girls. I don't know where they've been.
And Kenya, kind of gave an update on her situation with Mark in the episode tonight. So, what can you shed some light on? Do you see them getting back together?
I pray for them because I believe in the institution of marriage. I believe in vows and I believe in love. And I don't think that there is, you know, a perfect life or a perfect relationship or a fairy tale. But I do believe that, you know, working on your relationship and wanting your relationship to work is okay,
Mm-hmm.
even if someone has messed up.
Yeah.
And for Kenya, my earnest prayer, and for her and Mark and for Brooklyn, is that she gets what she wants and she wants her family. And I just hope and really pray that it works out in her favor.
Well, I do too. Eva, thank you so much. I'm so excited for next week and the week after. And I hope to see you back.